Shelty, how does Spencer's injury impact kind of how you view first base, and maybe if there is an opportunity there in camp this year?
Yeah, I think unfortunately, Spencer's dealing with that, and we'll have to wait to see when we get him back. I think once we get a full camp in here and we get everybody here, we'll kind of make a better determination of how we're going to move forward. I think it's going to just provide opportunity for different guys at first base throughout spring training, and then we'll make a decision.
When you talk about different opportunities, is it guys who have more of a history at first base, or is this an opportunity you think where you can get guys who are trying to learn the position or haven't played it a ton to maybe get them some run there?
I think it's going to be a combination of both. It could be some guys that have played there in the past that we've brought in, or have played there in the minor leagues, and then also an opportunity maybe to see some guys over there during spring training to see how they react to first base.
We were just talking to Key. How important is it for him to kind of have a healthy year? How important is it to the team for him?
It's extremely important. I mean, the fact that the way he looks and as hard as he's worked, I mean, I'm sure he touched on the off-season back and core program that he's been on. It even dates back to last year being on the IL at the end of the year, and just really appreciate how serious he took the issue because of the fact that, if you can't rotate, it's really challenging. And I think we've seen when Key is healthy, how he provides on both sides of the ball. I mean, I've never shied away from thinking he's one of, if not the best defender in baseball. And offensively, when he's been healthy, we've seen that he can produce. So to see him in camp, to see the way his body looks, it's really encouraging.
How much did you miss that production, both offensively and defensively, last year? I mean, this is a guy who played 96 games, but probably only played half of those healthy.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest point. He did not play healthy. He tried to grind through it. So we missed him a ton. I mean, we've seen how impactful that he can be as a third baseman, both offensively and defensively, when he's healthy, and it's important for us to keep him healthy.
What have you thought of the two-hand finish in the batter's box?
I like his swings. I saw some video of his swings right before camp started, and then was able to watch him in the cage a little bit today, but it looks good. I think the biggest thing is it looks unrestricted. It looks free, and when you're free and easy because of the fact that you can rotate, it's going to provide, really productive impact on the ball.
On the note of hitting instruction, Daniel Vogelbach back.
Yeah,
What went into that decision?
It's nice to have Vogie back. I mean, it was a situation where he wanted to get back in the game, has retired. He had a previous relationship with Haig. He has a previous relationship with us from being here. And I think even from the time he was here, you could tell that he really is a student of offense and hitting. And I think what he does is he provides a really unique perspective of a guy that has just played as soon as last year, so we can talk about approach and talk about pitchers. So it's important. It's nice to have him here.
Do you anticipate he's going to be hanging around the major league team this year, or is he going to bounce around kind of like Jeremy had for a couple of years?
I think he'll bounce around, but he'll spend some time with the major league club. I don't think we've fully kind of sourced out where, if it's 50-50, 60-40, where it's at, but he'll be around both our minor league hitters and our major league hitters.
Shelton, there's obviously a lot of excitement around your staff and long off season to think about what might be, but then when you're standing out there and you got Mitch and you got Skeens and you got Bubba standing there, I mean, as a manager, is it sort of hard not to have the mind wander at the possibilities?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I said it to our group this morning, I think this is the deepest group we've had since I've been here. It's the most talented group we've had from top to bottom. Even the guys we've brought in, the 6-year free agents we've brought in, have major league experience and significant major league experience, and I think that's important. And then you look at the kids in our system. You name Bubba, you name Harrington, you name Barco, Solometto. You name those guys. I think it's the deepest group we have. But yeah, you sit there and watch that group. You watch Holderman's group before that. It's nice to be back on the field and watch those guys throw.
What does a guy like Tommy Pham add to this group?
I think he provides a couple different things. He provides the ability to give a really good at bat, and he provides the ability that he's a winner. I mean, you talk to anybody that's been around him, this guy wants to win. All he talks about is winning. He lives it. He appreciates and talks to his teammates about it. And I think that's somebody that's really important. I mean, it's a guy that we've talked about in years past trying to add to our club. It did not happen. The fact that it lined up this year, I think it's not only going to be impactful for us on the field, but in our clubhouse.
Does he go into spring as the front runner to be the starting corner outfielder opposite Bryan?
Yeah, he's going to get a ton of at-bats, for us in the corners.
Is he more of a left fielder or a right fielder? I mean, because you flirted with the idea of playing Bryan in right last spring.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we're going to see Bryan in right. I think we'll play Tommy in left, and then the mix of the other guys we have. But I think our plan is right now is to play Bryan in right.
Is that a range thing, or take advantage of the arm, or
I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. I mean, we started him there last year at the beginning of the year and planned on keeping him there, and then because of other circumstances. But I mean, Bryan had 11 outfield assists last year. Now we're going to shorten up where he's at. We think we can take advantage of his full skill set by being in right.
How about as far as Fraser goes? Do you see him as a guy who's a utility guy, or is he in competition for more playing time in one position?
I think he's going to be a utility guy. You know, coming into camp, he is going to fight for spots. I think it was one of those situations where it really lined up. You know, Fraser knows us. He knows what we're about. He knows what our culture's about. His ability to lead with a group of guys that he knows is really impactful. And, you know, he battled a thumb injury last year, or hand injury, and I think it kind of affected his numbers. The fact that he's healthy, and I think we're in a situation like guys that are producing are going to play because we're playing to win. You know, I mean, the mantra of this camp is winning. And if he's the best guy to put on the field that day, which I think he will be some days, he's going to be on the field.
Shelton, he's been in the playoffs the last 3 years, 3 different teams. What's that bring to the table with him coming back, having that experience?
A whole different dynamic. I think going back to Noah's point with Tommy, that brings the whole different dynamic of, like, you know, we're adding guys that have been on the field in the playoffs in different situation. And when I sat down and talked to Fraser, all he wants to do is win. I mean, this is the guy that's played 8 years in the big leagues. And like you said, the last 3 years he's played in the playoffs and on playoff teams, and he brings that attitude in. I mean, basically what he said to me was, whatever you want to do, all I want to do is win. And that's really important to add to our group and our clubhouse. Good? All right, guys.